All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do they?
We'll get to the fake news in a moment, but first, Joe Biden, that thing with his eyes staying open, getting a big response on social media and elsewhere. Shall we take a look one more time? The average human being blinks something like 15 to 20 times an hour. Watch Joe Biden. Watch what happens as he slams President Trump. He does that all the time, but look at his eyes.
The D.C. Metropolitan Police, other law enforcement agencies were attacked and assaulted before our very eyes, speared, sprayed, stomped on, brutalized, and lives were lost. And for 3 hours, the defeated former president of the United States watched it all happen as he sat in the comfort of the private dining room next to the Oval Office. While he was doing that, brave law enforcement officers were subject to the medieval hell for 3 hours.
All right, that's 33 seconds. I mean, that's unusual, right? If you're a doctor, if I'm making too big a deal out of this, let me know. I think something is up. All right, but back to what he was saying, the substance of it. You heard him rip on President Trump. He does that a lot. The fake news, though, they fake everything. They mess up everything. After that speech, listen to their reaction. Listen to how they characterized him going after Trump.
Kristen, you cover the White House every day. You know that this was an unusual speech. It was actually hours later than we expected, put into another event and from his COVID quarantine. So talk to me about the context of what he said about Donald Trump.
It was remarkable, Andrea, because you're absolutely right. It is very rare that we hear President Biden take on his predecessor directly.
He does it all the time. What are they talking about? He does it all the time.
I travel the world trying to put things back together. You know, Trump did not leave a very good situation. During the period of the recession that Trump got us into, we're in a situation where the loss of income to people, middle class and working class Americans, is astonishing. He's not just a former president. He's a defeated former president. Unlike Trump, I don't shock our allies.
Yeah, all right. So this is so unusual. He does it basically every single day. Fake news, but you know what? Nothing is worse than this guy, perhaps, in the fake news, Mark Leibovich, and his latest phony book, Thank You for Your Servitude, a nasty, off the top of his head attempted takedown of Trump and anybody who's ever liked him or worked for him. Really nasty stuff. Now, we caught him red-handed in a big lie that anyone can see is a lie. Real quick, when President Trump won in 2016, he gave a speech, his victory speech. During it, he called up Reince Priebus. Now, this is how he writes about that moment, okay? Reince Priebus. Say a few words, Reince. Priebus's eyes bulged as Trump shoved him to the microphone. All right. You want to see Priebus's eyes bulge and Trump shove somebody? Did that happen?
Say a few words. No, come on. Say something.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Thank you. It's been an honor. God bless. Thank God. You bet.
Amazing guy.
Nobody's eyes bulged. He wasn't shoved. And then he leaves the podium. It was a beautiful moment. Take a look at what he said. Priebus coughed out a few garbled God blesses and thank gods before fleeing the mic as if it were in flames. So there are all kinds of problems with this book, in addition to what you just saw there. Who remembers the whole conversation about Trump's hands? Remember Marco Rubio tried to make fun of him? And, well, here's that moment. Watch.
I have to say this. He hit my hands. Nobody has ever hit my hands. I've never heard of this one. Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
All right, so we all saw that. I saw it. I knew there was something funny about the way Leibovich quoted Trump and the others. Take a look at this. Trump responded at the next debate with a robust defense of his manhood because, of course, he did. It's not a problem, believe me, Trump said. All right, now again, the book says it's not a problem, believe me. Reality is, we just heard it, I guarantee you there's no problem, I guarantee. You know, this is a small thing perhaps, but if you get the small things wrong, you'll get the big things wrong. If you get the big things wrong, you get the small things wrong. How about when Trump called Romney a penguin? He kind of did. It was great.
Once a choker, always a choker. And I was nasty about it. So now, as retribution, Donald Trump shouldn't run, and he walks like a penguin onto the stage. You ever seen? Like a penguin.
All right, am I nitpicking here? Maybe, but I think it's important. We all saw that speech. Trump at a rally in Anaheim observed that Mitt Romney walks like a penguin. Why are you making up quotes? Why don't you go back to the record and get it right? Because your book is wrong. Just a little bit, but it is. Book, Romney walks like a penguin. He walks like a penguin to the stage. You ever see like a penguin? Sorry if Mitt Romney walks like a penguin is somehow more efficient for you, but it's wrong. Now, also this, I'm not going to quibble with the words he chooses, but the whole idea is offensive. You know about the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C., the old post office building, they did wonders with that place. This nasty Leibovich shows up and hangs around in the lobby, and he says he sees Trump's adult children strutting around as if they owned the place. That's kind of interesting. Adult, why is that in quotes? And by the way, they kind of do own the place. I mean, it's just but I'll say this. I've been around these guys, and they're the nicest people in the world, and they're in the hospitality business. They don't make anybody else feel small. And he wrote this, very strange. At close range, about the kids, Don and Eric, they flashed scared and darting Trump eyes, as if bracing for a light fixture to fall. You could tell the boys really wanted to be recognized, especially by Dad. Darting eyes? I mean, all right, let me see Don and Eric, if you don't mind. How can you tell what these guys want? How can they really want, everybody, I guess, wants to be recognized, certainly by their, how could he tell? How could this Leibovich tell? Is he some sort of mind reader? No, he's just a nasty gossip, like all of them down there. All right, I got one more thing to point out about this book, and then I am throwing it in the trash. So at one point, a couple of points, he meets Trump. And according to Leibovich, he's got all kinds of questions, and he's asking them to him. Let's put them up on the screen. He had many questions, all general, on the same theme. Why was everyone betraying and disappointing him? This is when he's president, in the early days. Why were they not building the wall as he promised, or killing Obamacare, or locking Hillary up, the way they were all chanting for him to do? Or locking Hillary up. That one leapt out at me. Or locking Hillary up. Why? Because I remember shortly after President Trump was elected, he said publicly he's not going after the Clintons. He did during the campaign, but he said this.
You called her crooked Hillary, said you wanted to get in jail. Your people in your audiences kept saying lock him up.
Yeah. Well, she
do
did,
you want
she
to
did
put
some
it,
bad things. I mean, she
I
did
know,
some
but
bad
a
things.
special prosecutor? You
I don't
think
want to
you might-
hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. They're good people. I don't want to hurt them.
He's a nice guy. He's not as ruthless as you might think. Maybe that was a big mistake, huh? Because look at what they're trying to do to him. Hurt him, destroy him, but like you said earlier, I don't think they're going to succeed. Do you?
Hey guys, it's Rob Carson. I want to tell you about the Patriot Gold Group. But first, let me tell you that the S&P has already lost $8.2 trillion in 2022. Did you know that? Peak inflation is not even hit despite the Fed rate hikes on groceries, on gas. You know it as well as I do. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are warning of another 20% drop. Inflation is winning in a knockout right now. The Fed is going to raise rates again at the end of July. Meanwhile, Goldman, Wells Fargo, and Bloomberg are all forecasting gold to surpass all-time highs. If you want to invest in gold, call 888-936-2373 now. Call the Patriot Gold Group today and ask about their no-fee-for-life IRA. Sounds like a good deal, don't it? Here's the number, 888-936-2373. 888-936-2373 for the Patriot Gold Group.